there, and welcome back to Scrap with Penny. I am still nursing a little bit of my head cold, so pardon me for sounding a little rough, but I want to keep scrapbooking with you. So here I am. Today is another set of pictures from 2021, and can you believe that it has been 5 years since the pandemic? I have this quarantine set from Simple Stories out on my desk because the pictures that I'm going to work on today are actually when we got our COVID vaccination. Now, I know the shot was controversial and not everyone got it, but my husband and I were both in positions where we kind of needed to get it. And so it was significant and a big deal, and I'm going to scrapbook that. So my pictures are of just the first round of shots, and I'm not going to document the booster, and we didn't get more than 2 of them, I don't think. Well, that's not true. I'm looking at my vaccine card, and we got 3. We got because the vaccination, the first vaccination was 2 dose, and then we got the booster in December. But anyway, I thought that this little paper collection would be a good one to use, and I pulled out some pieces of it. I'll show you what I'm thinking. I've got this background, and then I've got this. And then I went for the one with the little COVID on it. I pulled this one too. I don't know if I'll use that. And it also has a really nice stripe. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. And I did also pull out the sticker sheet. I've got a sketch from Page Map, September 2024. And then you may recall from my convention haul, I got some of the Doodlebug Happy Healing. And so I pulled some die cuts. Now, a lot of these have the faces on them, and I'm going to have to see if I can cover them up somehow. I don't know. But I've got some little elements here for that. And shouldn't take too long to get this pulled together. This inset square, I mathed my way into it off of the fact that this is supposedly 3.5 inches. And this square here is 9 1/8. And then I'll just cut a photo mat slightly larger than my photos. And I printed my photos at 3 3/8, and that'll give me enough for a little wide inset and still keep them at the 3.5 by 5 like the sketch calls for. So I envision this piece here being this paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting and see if we can knock this out. I feel really good about the progress I'm making on my 2021 photos, and I track those in Trello. And so what I'm working on right here is the COVID. Let me get cutting, and I'll be back. I am gonna gut this back piece of paper, and this is 9 1/8, and so I'm cutting it at the 2-inch line. And I'm eyeballing where the corners will meet, just kind of guessing, and I can trim it with scissors if need be. 2 reasons to do this. It saves some girth in your albums, and then it also saves a little piece of paper that you can use on something else. This collection has 2 sheets of every pattern, and so there's ample room, but you could use this for a host of layouts. That's what we're looking at. So I have my background matted or taped down, and because I did 9 1/8, my margin on each side is between 1 3/8 and 1 1/2, and so I just measured that off camera and went ahead and taped this down. And then for my corners, I used this Martha Stewart chunky corner rounder, which I really like that. And so I do have my photos trimmed and matted, and the next thing I need to do is tape down my banner piece, which I cut it, and this is too deep of a cut, so I'm going to fix that, and then I'm going to cut it in the middle and salvage my piece of paper. I guess when you're on medicines, maybe you shouldn't scrapbook. It's a little harder right now. So if you're ever in a situation where you have to fix something like this, I just drew a pencil line on my first side, and then that's my cut, and then I just came over here and traced it, and that way you can get an even cut on these larger banners that won't fit into the banner punches. So in looking at my sketch, it shows this banner centered over the photos, and so I've kind of got that placement lined up. So I've got my T-square down, and it shows that this piece of paper doesn't appear, so I'm going to come down as low as possible, put that right there. And then there's room for a stripe above it, so just coming to about right here. Sometimes it's harder when you're working in frame to see, up page. But just in looking at the little positive signs, I think that works. So I've got my tape on the back of my pictures, and let's see, we can get a little bit of precision going, like okay. So I have been busy laying out some embellishments, and you can see where right here I've covered up a smiley face, and I've got a smiley face covered up here and here with the 6 feet apart. And the sketch calls for this stripe to come into play over here, And I decided that I could just use this journaling card as a layer. I trimmed it from the top section of this piece of paper. I've got 2 sheets of these. I'll probably never use them all, so it just makes sense to let this serve as a little layered background for it. And that brings the stripe in. I need to get some stripe in up here, and I think I'm ready to tape everything down. I will say I need to get my journaling done because that's going to spawn a title. I don't have an idea for a title, and I'm going to have to make one on this or use stickers because there's not a pre-made title for a COVID shot. So I just wanted to update you on where I am and let me keep going. So I thought I'd let you see how I just turned these little faces to where they're lined up next to one another, and when I drop this down, they're covered up. I printed my journaling on vellum so that I can lay it down right on top of this little notebook paper, and my trick for that is to have a 4x6 piece of paper that I just lay some vellum on top of, and then I run this through my photo printer, and it's pretty foolproof. Just have to let it usually dry a little bit and set up. Okay, so you've heard me say before how much I love simple stories and how the collections work together across the lines. And so I made the comment that you wouldn't find any foam stickers for this, but I went to my Hello Today. Well, I went to all my foam stickers and I just started looking. And this real life is at the bottom of this sheet. And I think it works perfect because number one, it is what was really going on. And 2, it spreads that red around. 3, I think the font, the size of it works perfectly in that area. So I got lucky and I don't have to make a title. I've got it stuck down and I think it's perfect. The nice thing is that it kind of covers up that dead space in that photo. Okay, so here it is finished and I've got my sketch beside it. It came together pretty quickly. I did add some enamel dots to it. I picked the colors navy, the orangey red, and the aqua, and I just took one in each size. So large, medium, small, large, medium, small, large, medium, small, and that kind of moved the color around. I haven't ever really talked about my enamel dots before, but when I get them, I cut them apart and I just put the little sheets in here by color family. And so when I go to find some, I'm just grabbing a little strip, and here's my red bin. I've already put my navy bin away, but that's how I store my enamel dots. And these are the 5x7 photo cases. These are Iris. I got them probably at Joann. Michael's has their brand that they sell that you could use, and so that's how I store my enamel dots. So I feel pretty good about it, and another 2021 story bites the dust. So this is the first time I've scrapped anything about COVID, and I'm wondering, have you told any pandemic stories? And if so, which ones? And I know that it was a really hard time for a lot of people, and it's a hard topic, and I've kind of stayed away from it because of that reason. But this is a good place to start getting my feet wet on telling the stories, and I hope that this gave you some ideas on maybe how you can tell some stories about some tough times, or how you can use this happy healing doodlebug line to incorporate into other lines that coordinate. And I'm very happy to say I don't have any smiling faces showing anywhere, which if you've listened to me before, you know I kind of have a problem with those. So anyway, I hope that you got to scrapbook while I was scrapbooking. I appreciate you being here, and as always, thanks for hanging out with me.
Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I'll be back soon with more layouts, videos, and a little stash busted magic. So please come back and crop with me. Until next time, happy scrapping, and remember, this is where paper meets story. Bye-bye.